May the 24th will of course be Angelo Leo defending his IBF featherweight world title against Tomoki Kameda. A very good fight. Obviously, this will take place in Japan, so you have to stay up for this one. But besides that, let's get right into this. Of course, Kameda is 42-4, 23 wins by way of knockout, and he is the former WBO Bantamweight World Champion, holding the title back in 2013 and keeping the title for around a year, defending it 3 times. Of course, 2 of his 4 losses come by Jaime McDonald, where he lost to him both times. Matter of fact, they both knocked each other down in the 2 fights that they had, so very nice. But of course, he then moved up to Super Bantamweight, which then he challenged Ray Vargas, who was the WBC Super Bantamweight World Champion at the time, where he lost a unanimous decision, which then he has moved up once again to Featherweight, where he has lost to Lerato Dlamini. Split decision, but not to worry, in his latest fight, he avenged that loss via split decision as well. So obviously he has been around, he is a former champion, you can never count him out. He is 33 with 46 fights, which shouldn't play too much of a factor, but it maybe kind of will. But besides that, the champion, Angelo Leo, 25-1, 12 wins by way of knockout. Of course, both of them don't have the most power, around like a 50% knockout ratio for both of them. So a knockout, although possible, it's boxing, you never know, most likely will not occur. But besides that, his one and only loss came against Stephen Fulton back in 2021, where he lost by unanimous decision, losing his WBO Super Bantamweight World title, which he won in the fight before against Tremaine Williams, 19-0. So obviously he once again is a former world champion back in the Super Bantamweight division. And then he moved up, fought a couple fights, and then he fought the then world champion Luis Alberto Lopez, kind of known as one of the better champions of the division, which he knocked him out in the 10th round in a somewhat close back and forth fight. So Angelo Leo is a former world champion, is a 2-division world champion, and Kameda is a former world champion. So obviously a lot of skill will be displayed in this fight. Now, of course, in terms of resume, it's safe to say that Leo, although having almost half the fights as Kameda, has the better resume. Obviously, he has Luis Alberto Lopez on his resume. Although he did not beat him, he also fought Stephen Fulton, which of course you learn a lot even through your losses. Tremaine Williams, Nicholas Polanco, Aaron Almeida, and of course some other ones. And of course, this will be a very interesting fight, as this will be in Japan. So obviously, home court advantage for Kameda, which, as long as Leo goes there with enough time to get used to the, time, it shouldn't play that big of a factor. But besides that, who do I have winning? Of course, that I have Leo winning. I have him winning decision, mostly because Kameda in his new division, because he's, I do believe, 2 divisions above from what he used to be, seems to have lost a lot of his explosiveness. He can still obviously throw some quick punches, but no longer can he throw those 5-6 punch combinations like he did against Ray Vargas. Now it's more like a 1, 2, 3. Obviously, he's grown a little stronger, moving up, but it seems that he can't throw more than 4 punch combination. Obviously, he probably can, but then he'll tire himself out in the last couple of rounds, right? Which is not a good thing. And it seems he is slightly vulnerable to the body. Not that he's weak to the body, more so seems to be easier to hit to the body than other boxers. But besides that, Leo has fought the better opponents, obviously. He is technically the more normal featherweight, because he's only moving up 1 division from Super Bantamweight, while Kameda is moving up from Bantamweight. So obviously a lot more moving up. And Leo's the more technical boxer. He can find openings in your defense, which of course Kameda doesn't have too big of it. He's not punchy. He's not an easy hittable guy, but he does have his slightly big openings. And one of the main things is that Kameda, like I said, he's explosive. He can throw his like 3-4 punch combinations, somewhere around there. But if someone were to throw a punch in between, like right after his first punch, he just can't commit, which is something Leo does pretty well, especially when he did it against Lopez. And not to mention, he fought Lopez. Lopez is a very irregular guy with a ton of power. So obviously Leo taking those punches is a very good thing. By being able to disrupt Kameda's rhythm, not really letting him explode, is a very good thing, and I think that gets him the win. But what's one good thing is that Kameda has some decently good countering ability. So obviously both of them have to be on their toes. They can't really be like, oh, I'm gonna throw a lazy jab. No, no, that's how you get dropped from either guy. But besides that, yeah, that's about it. Kameda is a very good fighter. Obviously, former world champion, has that experience, has that mentality. But being the older fighter, seemingly the smaller guy as well, although he is taller than him. But you know, being tall doesn't mean that you're more better suited for the weight class. But besides that, yeah, he's older. He no longer has that 4 or 5 punch combination that he showed against Vargas. And with Leo being very good and has the skill to disrupt Kameda basically anytime he tries to get something done, that leads me to believe Leo wins a decision 8 rounds to 4, retaining his IBF title. But it's a very good fight. It's going to be a very good back and forth, action-packed fight. Although no knockout, but that doesn't mean it won't be exciting. But besides that, what do you guys think of this matchup? Who do you guys have winning? Leave it in the comments below, and I hope to catch you in the next one.